There was a comment in my last video, and a guy came in and he said something to the effect of, you don't live off grid, so you don't know what you're talking about. And it's true, I don't live full-time out here at the cabin, but one of the things I will say is that I don't really see a difference. The principles are all the same. I'd like to know what you think. What are your thoughts? But you've got an opinion, I'd love to hear it, so put it down in the comments for me. Well, yeah, we've had a little bit of snow because I plowed this out before, last time we were here, which is, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago. All right, here we are. All right, 38 degrees at the cabin. Oh, wow, folks, that was quite the trip getting up here. Oh, all right. You know, my back so far has not yelled at me for doing that. Darcy will when I get home. Oh. It's pretty warm in here, that's good. All right, keys go there. And it's dark in here, huh? Let's turn some lights on. Oh, let's see what we get here. I don't know if you can read that, but it says the batteries are 28.8. Wow, look at that. Good deal. All right. Now we go back and turn the auxiliary heat on. So the time I use it is to warm the cabin up when I get out here. And I always move this curtain because it gets pretty warm. There we go. Curtain's moved. That's running. Open up some curtains so we can see. Oh. It's good to be here, folks. All right. Oh, I'll send Darcy a message because I've got my Zoleo device, which is a satellite. It's kind of an emergency beacon, but you can text message off of it. Pretty cool device. A friend of mine showed it to me. Yeah, a lot of snow on the backside there. Holy smokes. Yeah. There's about 7 inches on top of that tire anyway. Definitely got a little snow, but it is definitely melting off. Yeah, even with the chains on this time, it didn't matter. That was a mess. Nope, the deer were just running right over there. They hang out up here a lot. Oh. Haven't got those lights on the front set up just yet. They're pencil beams and they are bright. But when you add that to the big light up top, it'll put out plenty of light for me. And I got a back rack installed, so I've got more room in the back of the Jeep, which is nice. Oh. I finally bought a trasheroo. I had an overland bag, and the overland bag started coming apart, and the trasheroos are way bigger. They're about the same price. Honestly, I think that's a better deal. So, leave the pressure out of my fuel tanks. I always try to take fuel now when I come up here. There we go. Well, folks, time to move into the cabin and get the wood stove going and let Darcy know I'm here and celebrate with maybe a bourbon, because frankly, that was a challenge coming up here. Yeah, I made it up the first time, but the drone was dying, so I had to go back down to get the drone because it wanted to go back to its takeoff point, which is what it does if it's getting dead. And I tried to fly it up to me, but it just wouldn't do it. It was like, nope, I'm not getting that far from home. So I told it to land by accident, and it almost crashed into some trees. I canceled the land, managed to get it up above the trees, point it back in the direction it needed to go, tell it to go home, and then it did, and it went and landed right where it started. So that's good. It's quiet out here, it's good. all the snow is going to melt off soon. There's quite a bit. There's actually more than it looks. You know, that's one thing about the snow, it's deceiving. Well, if you look at the sawmill, the bottom of the mill is probably 18 inches off the ground, and it's only a couple inches above the snow there. And I can't remember the size of those tires. They're maybe 20 inches, and you know, they're maybe half a dozen inches above the snow. So we've definitely got some snow here. I'd say there's probably a foot on top of those wood piles there. So maybe a foot still. This stuff here is packed down and there's just ice underneath it. That's just ice right there. So I got work to do, so I'm going to put you down and I'm going to get myself moved in. Yeah, it says about 31 maybe. Morning. Well, first order of business today. Well, this morning I've already had coffee and all that good stuff and uploaded a video to my Jeep channel. For those that haven't seen it, I'll drop a link down below for it, but I had to pull rope. That's the first time I've had to pull rope coming up here in 15 years. But yeah, we got a little snow. That's about 18 inches right there, but it's coming off the roof up above. First order of business, fire up the generator. Let's see if this starts up. This is my cane, and that first knuckle on the cane is about a foot, and I just set it down here and it went right down. That's where it's frozen. So down about a foot. The doors here have worked pretty good, but look at all that snow right there. So I've got to grab a shovel and clean this out and get into the back room. Obviously I'm gonna have to shovel. I've got to get the heat tape plugged in on the sewage pipe because unfortunately everything must have frozen up somewhere in there. When that happens, it backs up, and that is not a fun experience. I'll get some gloves on and we'll get shoveling that out. All right, so what I've done here, I've taken the heat tape there, plugged it into this guy here to give it some power. I can feel it's warming up already, and then what I like to do is I put insulation over it. I've also plugged in the composting toilet. You can see got the generator running, so the batteries are all up to 26.9, 26.8, pulling about 7-8 amps, so that's good. We're not getting a whole lot of power here, I don't think. PV is 0, yeah, so 61 volts, so they're starting to get power. 79 volts on the roof, but it's just snoozing, so there we go. That must have come off. All right, I'm gonna head back out, folks. What a mess, eh? One task done. Those chains are from Les Schwab. They don't really fit. With my left hand technically still recovering. It's a bit sore today, so I'm not going to attempt the big hill. I just don't think it's worth it, because if I have to tighten those chains up or put them back on, I don't think my hand could put up with it. So I'm going to clear up this section and around here, and I think that's all I'm going to do, because at this point that's about, you know, all I really should do. So I'm going to get that done. Let's get her done. I got to go get the Jeep though, and I need keys. Still have my heat tape running on the sewage pipe and the generator running with the heat in the composting toilet. So once I get done plowing around here and cleaning this up, I'm gonna go back and check on that. That heat tape takes, you know, it can take a couple hours or more to really heat up warm enough to thaw out the sewage. You know, there was a comment in my last video, and a guy came in and he said something to the effect of, you don't live off grid, so you don't know what you're talking about. And one of the things that I've always tried to do is be totally honest, totally transparent. And yes, I did actually live off grid for over a year right here at the cabin on my own power, but I also lived off grid for a few years as a kid as well, way back when it wasn't called off-gridding, it was called homesteading. But you know, it's true, I don't live full-time out here at the cabin, but one of the things I will say is that I don't really see a difference having done both. When you come out here, or when I come out here and I spend a few days to a week or two, the principles are all the same. Living with the power that you're generating is all the same. Taking care of all the equipment is all the same. There's no difference. When I lived out here full time, I made a lot of mistakes. I learned a lot of things. If I were to do it today, it would be far better than it was, well, that was 12 years ago. But since that time, I've continued to come out here and spend, you know, fairly lengthy periods of time out here. And honestly, everything that I do today is exactly the same that I had to do when I was living here full time. So I suppose the only real difference in my mind is the mindset itself. Yes, I can go home, I'm going home tomorrow, and if I come out for a week or two or even a month or two, I'm still going home to my house that's on the grid. It's true, and I've never denied that. But I guess my thought is that's about the only difference, is that there's a little bit of a difference in mindset. When I lived out here full time, I was going home when I came here. To tell you the truth, I feel like I'm coming home every time I come back too. A friend of mine recently welcomed me home because I came back here. He also lives up here. I'd like to know what you think. What are your thoughts? So put it down in the comments for me, and I'll check it after I get done, well, plowing my driveway. So let's go get that done. By the way, when I was living off grid, I had to plow my driveway then too. Wasn't any different. Great day. This just lost a pin on my 3-point, so now I gotta go find one. Put that back together. Good times. Just more work. Found my stash. You know, I guess in a way what I do is a part-time off-gridder, part-time homesteader. Almost. I don't have any animals up here, but I don't have any animals at home either. But things like this are the things you got to deal with. I'm 23 miles from town. I can't just run into town and get some new pins. So you got to keep some out here. So now it's time to replace them. Just like anybody else, being off-grid or homesteading alone, need no help coming out here for me. I gotta do it myself, bad hands, bad back or not. That's reality. Good thing the sun is shining. All right. Back to plowing. All I'm trying to do now is get that driveway widened out a little bit. So it shouldn't take me very long. I'll get to it. I ended up plowing for over 3 hours, and oh my goodness, it's really heavy wet snow. I definitely have over a foot on the driveway. I didn't realize it was that deep. I guess I've been driving on top. And oh my gosh, I was going back and forth, and the plow blade I have is old, beat up, broken a few times, rebuilt a few times. It's frankly too small, too thin, and not long enough. So that doesn't help. I really need a hydraulic plow blade, and a good heavy one, and one that I can plow backwards with. This one doesn't work well that way. Maybe I'd be able to do a better job then, but I used the bucket a lot and really worked it, and holy smokes. I mean, I cleaned it up enough that I should be able to get to the top of the hill, and I'll use the ruts to get down, but man, I'm telling you, it's raining now. And rain just makes it even sloppier. It's been a crazy day. I've been running the generator all day because I'm running the heat tape and the heater in the composting toilet because my sewage pipe froze up. And normally within 2 or 3 hours, it thaws out enough. Whew, man, it is still not unplugged. It's terrible. You know, I wish I had checked it. I didn't check it, I guess, well enough before we left last time. I thought I did. And I guess there was stuff in there that froze, and if it freezes solid like that, it's hard to thaw it out. So we'll keep running the generator, and well, the batteries will stay nice and topped up. The composting drum will be nice and warm, so that'll get the composting really going well. But now I think it's time to get the wood stove cleaned out and fire it up again, and just kind of relax for, I don't know, another couple hours and see if that toilet won't unplug. I've had this happen a few times in the past. It's one of those things that can happen out here in the winter. I've got to get something done where that sewage pipe goes under the cabin, and no side skirts, you know, all that good stuff. It's things that need to be done, and that's one thing that I should probably do a video on things that need to be done, because there's always something that needs to be done. I mean, there's just always something. That's the life, you know, and as I kind of alluded to earlier, you know, somebody was telling me that I'm not off-grid. Well, I am off-grid. I'm just not off-grid full-time anymore. But, you know, the truth is, it doesn't matter. You come out here and things go wrong, you still got to fix them. It's all on you. So, anyway, I'm not trying to say I live full-time off-grid anymore. I've often said that I don't, that I go to my cabin and I spend the time off-grid at my cabin. It's my retreat, but I did live out here, and been there, done that, and I don't see I just don't see a difference. But anyway, folks, time to go and sit down and get a bourbon 30 or something and relax and get the wood stove going again. So I'll be right back to you. Well, folks, good afternoon. Well, it's after 5. It's only 36 degrees out, but it is raining hard, which is going to make it sloppy. I guess I can only hope that it freezes, but even freezing isn't good. Oh, I got some deer walking over there. I don't know that you could see them, but they're up there. These cameras aren't good enough to zoom in to where they are. They're up to their knees in snow, sloppy, wet snow. In any case, I'll be honest, I've just been sitting in the cabin by the wood stove reading. It's making me sleepy. But it was supposed to maybe be some snow, maybe some rain. And well, we're getting full-on rain now. It is going to make everything really, really soft when it comes time to leave here. My back is sore. I guess doing all that chaining up and stuff is killing me. That and my sewage pipe's still frozen. I checked down in the back room and it's thawed up all the way to the wall. And that suggests that it is still frozen from the wall to underneath the cabin. And that's probably 1.5 feet or so, and because it's not that warm out, I guess even though it's slowly thawing it out from the inside, it's just not there yet. Now the wind's picked up too. So I've got the generator still running, and it's been running all day. It's the longest I think I've ever run it. And it's melting snow all around it too. But you know, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I won't be able to use the toilet. It's starting to get dark out. Raining to beat all heck. So I'm just gonna go back in and read. I'll come back to you and give you the news. Whether I got this thing sorted out or not, I don't know. We'll find out. Stay tuned. Well, I decided that discretion is the better part of valor. And the rain is coming down so much and it's gotten so warm that I know that the road out of my place will be very, very difficult to get out of. So I packed up and said, I'm heading home. And I almost didn't get out of my place. It was tough, folks. I wasn't sure I was gonna make it. So we are gingerly heading down the hill in 4 low with the chains on. And we've definitely done a little slippy slideys here and there. Coming out of my place was a challenge. I almost didn't make it out. I wasn't sure I was gonna make it even down to here. So got down to here and I decided good enough. We're gonna keep on going. I'm gonna head home, come back in a couple weeks. So anyway, folks, I'm gonna drop now and drive.